違うよねけど Maybe you're my love 会いたい今優しい君に桜キスと決めたらだんだん恋しよう未来よりも今が感じ嬉しい春の恋は花咲く乙女の美学ニャニャニャニャニャニャニャニャ Hey, hey, baby, you're my love
I'm so sorry. That song's been in my head all day. There was an animation on Twitter that I saw of someone doing the Final Fantasy VII cast with that opening, and I'm just like, yeah, that opening really fucks severely, huh? Hi, Tetra. It's a banger. You hear that, like, kiss, kiss, fall in love, and you go, ah, yeah! It has had an impact on our society at large. Also, hi. Welcome back to, Ace Attorney.
Baby, you're my love.
So last time we started everyone's least favorite case, I guess. Big Top. It's fine. The voices suck. And there's inappropriate behavior toward a 16-year-old, but otherwise it is not as bad, logically, as I remembered. It is such a good song, right? Anyway, we're doing the trial today. I have to remember how to do Fran's voice. It's been a while. I wonder if there's an animation that exists in the fan sphere of Ace Attorney characters for that opening. Oh dear. Good morning, Max. Okay, I'm so sorry we're already getting off track. We just started, but I really have a problem with, like, vocal stems, and I can't say the words good morning, like good morning blank, anymore without thinking of Jenna Marbles and the time that she filmed her dog Kermit for like 24 hours, and she's like, good morning, Kermit. Good morning, Kermit. Like, so in my head, my brain read that in the Jenna Marbles voice. Anyway, I hope she's doing well.
Max?
Milk. Oh boy.
What?
I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage. I just can't function, sweetie.
Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down.
I guess.
Nick, Max is really nervous.
That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties.
What?
You don't think I should fly, do you?
Huh?
You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone.
Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay.
Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that and everyone in the room will be on your side.
Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes?
I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. This case is such a mess. She's a hot mess. Hey, Fran, hey. Oh, God. And now the court. Oh, dear. I didn't see what my line was. What? Your Honor, get on with it.
Oh, sorry. I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns.
So...
Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica?
Yes, Your Honor. He does often go by that name.
You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more... friendly.
I wonder if that is to our advantage.
Ms. Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please.
God, I forgot how his voice makes my ears pop. I hope you didn't think... I'm sorry. I'll feed this. I like have to say random German words to get... Das ist gut. Scheiße. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Huh? That spirit-channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count. Do you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You did also just, like, really ram into her with shoving it in her face, so... You have no chance. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. That turned a little bit Slavic for a second. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. Damn! There. Opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. I'm misreading all of my lines. I'm sorry.
Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma.
See, like, there's so many commas and stuff missing. Like, this was definitely done in, like, a hurry. With the least amount of attention. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there. Now! Hey. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir.
All right, detective, you may proceed with your testimony.
The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. Ugh! That's a nightmare. Sometimes I feel like my neck is gonna snap.
I see. He was beaten to death.
Here's the autopsy report for the victim.
The court accepts this into evidence. Okay. A blunt object. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. I think I can press you on everything. So I shall. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's gotta be more to this.
Huh? What's the matter, Nick?
I need to take a look at the court record.
Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime?
Because we... Alright, hold on. We have... Okay. He said the snow was falling until when? Okay, that makes sense. Sure. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch.
Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after these proceedings.
After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room tired from work. How old is Mo? Do we know? Okay, yeah, I would be tired. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately.
Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you?
It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ow! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on.
All right. We'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end?
The victim was found, okay. A wooden box? That's right. It doesn't look wooden, but okay. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed.
Carrying the box, huh?
It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor.
What do you mean?
Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention it was locked.
Locked, you say?
This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Let's ask about the contents. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Because why was it so heavy? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle.
Bottle? What is that, Detective?
Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper.
Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box?
There was only one little bottle in that huge box.
I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning.
According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it's something that the perpetrator ran off with.
You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene.
No. 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 I bet he made it disappear with magic.
Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now.
Do we? I guess that's all we're gonna get out of Gumshoe in this case.
You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper?
Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. Huh? I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy.
Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness.
I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist.
I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well.
One second, I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt. It's warm. It got warmer. It was cold this morning. I'm not complaining, it's just the weather changed. Please state your name and occupation for the record. Oh god, what was the voice I gave him?
My full name is Trilo Quist. I am employed as an operatic tenor.
Excuse me. The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist.
That robe must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe if you don't believe me, fine. I'll grace you with a song. Me. The world of law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think?
She's like, you're lucky I don't own a gun.
It had a good rhythm.
It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult a judge.
Shut up! Just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face, in the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds.
What's going on here? Order, order! I demand to know who the witness is.
Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this.
I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about getting testimony in my court. Ouch!
You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed.
Once practice was over, I left the tent with the clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance.
Trilo's face in this is really funny. Hi, Nim.
That's when I saw Max, heading toward the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away.
You saw Maximilian Galactica heading toward the scene. You're sure of that?
Without a doubt, he had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high?
That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown.
That's right, dress boy.
Jesus.
Well, since you weren't with him, could that mean the clown committed the crime?
He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit.
Why's that?
Here's absolute proof.
A silk hat.
This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Ah. Without question, he was wearing the signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene.
Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done.
Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay. I guess she's the boss again today. I do really like Trilo's expression, like, yeah. The clown. You're talking about Mo?
Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. It's just like me for real. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to keeling over for good.
Poor guy.
We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack.
Then what happened?
Once we got to, I already said this. Why the plaza's entrance?
To do some thinking, of course.
It is exactly that emoji, yeah. It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Also, your wouldn't that like ruin you? Like fuck up the wood getting too tight and it gets, you know, it contracts and like fucks up the joints and stuff. imagining Phoenix saying that with all that stammering and stuttering, and then she's like, Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. Okay, Fran, you got me there. But I'm a good thunker. At least my teachers always said I was. Are you sure it was really Max Galactica?
Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup?
Snobby three-piece getup?
Get the wax out of your ears. Lawyers nowadays, you're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Jeez, could you be any more dense? All together now.
Silk hat, cloak, white roses.
Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions.
Get his ass. You saw Max, and only Max, right, Trilo?
That's right, and that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night.
That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character.
There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? Ben only saw Max? Because the ringmaster also would have been the one you would have seen, right? That's a bit strange, don't you think?
What's strange?
That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well?
What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen?
It should have been Mr. Barry.
That's the victim.
Yeah, because he headed there. He would have headed there before Max. Presumably. That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well.
Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out.
What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room.
Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime?
I see. It seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions.
He's right. Yeah, we are basing, I guess, only on Max's testimony.
A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. Trina wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he?
Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head.
Nick? Wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Who cares? The clown. Oh, I already did this.
Ow! I'm sorry.
I don't know why I said oh. Okay, he was only okay, and then the police showed up. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene?
I suppose that would have been around. Hey, what time was it?
Huh? I think it was around, I'd say a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you would just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is...
Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we'd just stand outside in that weather?
Well, maybe you were waiting for someone. Let me try reading that again. Well, maybe you were waiting for someone?
What? Who said we were waiting for someone? Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhanded theories.
No. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something.
Mr. Wright, who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night?
The girl. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. Regina. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina.
Wah!
You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this
true?
Well, you can't really ask me that question.
Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw, don't you forget it.
Well, if it isn't the LGBTQ, sorry. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right.
Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
Ah! That makes perfect sense.
What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. No, he saw him on the way, maybe. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the scene. Ow! There's absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer.
I guess you got me. Alright, I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true. I was waiting for Regina.
Pain! Don't volunteer things!
Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you, or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house?
I was waiting to propose to her.
You were what? Waiting to propose?
Isn't that against the law?
What's the matter? You think the humans have a monopoly on marriage?
No. Isn't there like the gay penguins who like basically got married? You know?
The matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case.
You are the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit.
More pain.
Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Don't be so surprised that I was gonna propose to Regina. I even had something to give her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
Liar. Liar say what?
What?
You were going to propose. You, a puppet.
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
Okay, so there's one thing about this, besides this being disgusting on many fronts, there is one thing I do like about this, and it's that, like, so Very Big Circus, like, the one of the conflicts is that Max is, like, the only good performer, but, like, actually, Ben is too, because he's made his puppet so believable in its, like, realism that people are talking to the puppet and not to Ben, as if it's its own person, which I think is like kind of interesting, but it doesn't override the fact that this guy's like really perverted. Anyway,
don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too.
No, Your Honor. You'll find that there are laws. This may shock you as a judge, but you'll find that there are laws.
Exactly.
His Honor is looking a little less than honorable right now. Get his ass.
Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination.
What was with that sigh at the end? I hate men. You know what? I think this is my lesbian awakening, Phoenix.
Okay, Maya, that's great. Not now. No, I'm allowed to be surprised. By proposal, you mean proposing marriage, correct? To Regina.
Of course that's what I meant. What kind of stupid question is that? I wasn't going to propose that we become some sort of all outlaw biker gang together. Right, Ben?
Yeah.
Got it. That's the truth.
What was it exactly that you had planned on giving her?
You know exactly what I was going to give a numbskull. The only thing I could find to match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring.
Engagement ring?
Wow, those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Is she sitting? She's not no one's sitting but the judge.
Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here.
Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time.
Pain equals bad.
Oh, God. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to a human being.
Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short.
I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony, specifically about the engagement ring? I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe.
An engagement ring?
Uh-huh. It's actually a diamond-shaped stone cut from glass. Even more brilliant than the real thing. I think Regina's gonna love it.
Is that? It's just a ring.
What's the matter, Nick?
Well, there's gotta be something I can catch him on. Whose pocket was the ring in?
Mine, of course. What a stupid question. You gotta be kidding me. You think Ben could pull that off?
I'm sorry. Really?
You don't have to apologize for that. He's the one who should be apologizing.
Really? So you went to the lodging house to give it to her?
That's right. I tried to give it to her during practice so many times I lost count, but that uppity snob kept getting in the way.
Uppity snob! He could possibly be talking about me, Maximilian Galactica. When I get a hold of him, I'm gonna saw his wood block in half, and not with magic. Well, they always say that love creates rivalries.
So, what about this present?
So you were still thinking of trying to give it to Regina?
Of course I am. I spent 3 months' salary on this thing. I'm not gonna give it up that easily. I wonder how much he receives for appearing in the circus.
Probably way more than he deserves.
How about it, Nick?
I think it's about time to unwrap this toy's testimony.
That's the spirit, Nick. Give him heck.
Let her say hell. The judge has that dazed and confused look again. Maybe he should get out more. Sorry, that line just felt like love is love. No, you don't. I have it. Right here. Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it?
What are you talking about?
Uh-oh. Looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring?
Ah! That's mine! Give it back! Thief! Thief!
Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here?
What is going on here?
That's... Ben, say something!
Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room.
Money's room? You mean a room that they put money, like a bank vault?
Ha! That filthy monkey's gonna get what's coming to him.
Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court. Listen, I'm a judge, not an English major.
Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word.
Ah, I see. Well then.
Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he could find and gather them up.
Shiny things?
Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details. I need more details. Tell me the tea. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might be able to say that. The ring might have been, well, could have been taken around that time. Ah! Ouch! Ooh.
Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder.
It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand.
I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Trilo Quist.
What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo?
You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey, Money.
But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you?
It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away.
That is indeed an incredible shame.
Well, this does indeed prove one very important point.
Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be?
Ben doesn't exercise enough is so wretched. There's a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony.
Contradiction?
The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza.
What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours?
I'm saying that there's no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene.
Interesting, Mr. Wright.
Well then tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist?
Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene.
However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive.
The witness is lying. He's blinded by his rivalry with Max.
Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity toward the defendant.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork-face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him. No doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar.
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night.
Ha! I've told you so many times. You'd think you'd know my story's not changing.
You've already changed your story, stick boy, and I'm sure it'll change some more.
Where there's one lie, there's usually many more behind it.
Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him.
Yeah!
I wish Maya had more part in the trials in this case, because she's so much more fun to voice than most of the other characters. Although I do like doing Trilo's voice.
Yeah, see? Yeah. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I am absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols.
So that means Money didn't show up until after you saw Max.
That's right. Money ran up to us less than a minute after I saw Max.
Then Money snatched the ring, and you went chasing after him?
How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting?
Well, let's see. I'd say about...
I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch.
Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Speaking of vertebrae, they're crunching around in there. Oops. So you were only concerned with waiting for Regina that night? That means you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up.
You should think about how many eyes I actually have. I've got 4, you know. 4. 4! Counting Ben, of course. With that many eyes, do you really think something would have slipped by me?
Can I make a Danganronpa joke? A Danganronpa reference? How many ears do you think I have with my Doc Davis of destruction? 10 ears! God, I miss him.
4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed at one area, I suppose.
Yikes. The judge is even more dangerous to our case than Trilo. Ain't that always true? I miss Gundam Tanaka. So you saw Max coming out of the big top that night?
Of course that's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance to the tent the entire time.
I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina. About what time would you say these events took place?
You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. You already know the practice finished promptly at 10 p.m. And you already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to know around what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes, I'm sure you can do that. Now, what time was it?
Indeed, what time was it?
What time was it? Let me think about that for a second. Ow, I'm no good at math. It was 10:10 p.m.
Yeah, yes, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right, because that's the time I saw Max on the scene. I said good evening.
Oh yeah, I already said this.
Not bad.
So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night.
You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night.
I know you could say good evening.
What, Ben? You got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trilo. You say good evening at night.
Oh, I'm sorry, Trilo.
Mr.
Mr. Quist, I prefer if you kept your ventriloquist act outside of the courtroom.
Impossible. A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better.
There's gotta be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Ben's half of the comedy. It doesn't make sense that you would have greeted him, honestly. Ouch. Because didn't you just get smashed in the head? But I don't know which of those statements follows this more. I want to say this one. Isn't that a bit strange to you?
What do you mean?
Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange.
Why would it strike you as strange?
Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your coworkers? Not that I do it. Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a coworker, I would understand. Ow! That hurt! Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. Does she know the story? Hold on. Hold on. Does she know the story about how Edgeworth and Phoenix met? Would that not be crazy? Because I think it's probably just saying, like, even an elementary schooler could learn that. But wouldn't it be crazy if she also knew, and that's why she said that? Anyway, there's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with the evidence?
Loving is everything in this world. Well, I'm sure you already learned that one.
I guess I can give it a shot.
The witness will resume his testimony.
I'm absolutely sure.
You're 100% absolutely sure of what you just said?
I told you already. Geez, I am 100% absolutely sure.
There's no way that he could be any more confident than that, right? Those 3 ridiculous symbols, huh?
Out of curiosity, how many times have you asked that question by now? If you're gonna ask me again, I'll answer with a chorus. Everyone together now.
Silcat. Wait, that was
Silcat! Cloak!
White roses.
Thank you very much.
Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you?
But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in his testimony somewhere.
I agree, but do we have the proof to make something stick?
All we can do is try, right, Nick? You've got to have something that'll prove useful.
Alright, time to go to work. Okay. So, I remember some of these cases I have to, like, go back and, like, repress them, so I'm gonna do that really fast. Okay, yeah, this is where you said that. I really love the bass in this. I said that a million times, but I love it. And then he says, okay, I was like waiting at 10 p.m. Okay. Alright. You said good evening to him. Yeah. Let's see. I hate to say it, but Ben's part of your little act is coming off a bit stale. I'm sure that if a pro was to review your work, he would— Ow! You're not trying to pass yourself off as a professional performer, are you? Shakespeare kid.
Don't get so wrapped up in yourself, Mr. Phoenix Light. You should know better.
Ow! Ow! That hurts! That should have set him straight. You may proceed with the testimony, witness. There's no setting him straight. Okay. I want to press this again. Does he say something else if I repress this one? Yeah. Cause this... Okay. Okay. Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder?
A fight?
A fight over Regina, to be exact.
It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument. A disagreement at most.
A disagreement usually doesn't end with somebody getting clonked over the head.
Ah!
That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he?
What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch.
Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that, on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There's absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on the stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival.
Ah!
Are you saying this witness is lying? Well, I don't call him truth in. That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene.
I didn't tell a single lie, honestly. I just...
That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night?
I think he saw a different person. It's my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. I think he saw whatever his name is, the guy who died. Russell. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there's only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it.
What in the world? You! Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening, then?
I'm pretty sure it had to be Russell. Si or no? Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet.
It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute.
No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present.
Oh, yeah, I suppose you've got a point there.
It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You're correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? No. Answer the question, Mr. Quist.
Order! How do you respond to this?
Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica.
I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica, or was it the ringmaster, Mr. Russell Berry?
The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's three symbols.
Three symbols.
Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you gotta remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone all together now. Ow.
Yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and the white roses. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me.
What was that?
Well, the witness has indiscreetly repeated that he saw Max's three symbols. However, how do we really know that it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry, because everyone clearly knows what the three symbols are, so...
What? Ms. Von Karma, do you have clear evidence that the person who the witness saw was the defendant?
Well,
If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point.
Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one.
That is very unfortunate.
Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What do you mean by that?
You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your efforts, but...
But?
Who that person was can only be answered by the next witness.
Huh?
Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime.
Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess.
Oh, court is now in recess.
Wow, we flew through that first half, huh? I need to grab a little bit more water. Because doing the judge's voice makes me crazy. Anyway, be right back. Back so fast that I won't even put up my little screen. How about that? You can just hear the ambient noises of me filling up water. fucking hell. I was like, the ambient sounds of me filling my water. On the way up, I hit my hip, and on the way down, I hit my foot. Like an idiot. Like a moron. I hope we're all having fun. I hope we're all enjoying this trial as much as we possibly can. You know? I'm having fun. Sweetie! You have to believe me, I didn't go anywhere near that crime scene.
So then, where were you when the murder took place?
We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room. And while you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right? Exactly. He told me to wait in the room because he would be right back.
That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right?
That's what it seems like.
But the ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right?
Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room still dressed in my stage clothes. But when I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off.
Which means?
It means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max. But wouldn't Max have, like, noticed? I don't know. Fabulous! That's a fabulously possible possibility.
Well done, Nick.
However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go? Double,
Wow, Max, I never thought of that. You should be a detective or something.
Well, I was never quite sure what to be when I grow up. Magician or president? You have no idea how hard it was to make a decision. It's crazy when I was growing up how many people like wanted to be president as like a job when they were little, because like we like didn't understand how that worked. And that you didn't have to be extremely wealthy to even have a chance.
That's really cool.
Fabulous. This mystery just keeps getting deeper. In fact, I feel like a lot of the people who were like, I want to be president one day are now in real estate. I don't know what that says.
Now that everyone is back, let's get started. The court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case.
Very well. I will now call my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Will Mr. Lawrence Curls...
Is that really his name?
Lawrence Curls, please take the stand.
Cause it's Larry, Curly, and Moe. Oh, that's... I forgot about that. Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? Because he is. He is pitiful.
The witness will state his name and occupation for the court record.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playgrounds where I spent
Name and occupation.
Will the witness please inform the court why he's speaking autobiographical gibberish?
It's probably one of the best cultural references in all the Ace Attorney cases also. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in court. I've never been in a courtroom in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited for this sort of occasion.
What in the world are you talking about? We're in a grand hall of justice, not some comedy club. Since it's easy to see your occupation, please state your name for the court.
Oh yeah, maybe this joke is okay. Mom, do I have to wear pants? The sign only says no shirt, no shoes, no service. Okay, how about this? Have you met my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Butts? Almost that one. But a couple of clowns who were up to no good started making trouble and... You
Your name.
Lawrence Curls, professional funny man, also known as Mo the Clown.
You've witnessed the scene at around 10:15 p.m. on the day of the murder. Correct?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Very well, Mr. Carls, will you please testify to what you saw that evening?
A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian all walk into the plaza.
Without the humor, please.
Okay.
Aw, poor Mo can't be his normal stoogey self in court.
Darn. I know. I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I haven't been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. Imagine my predicament. A clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. But I keep trying. I even tried to come up with jokes just for today. But this atmosphere is very nerve-wracking. I decided to try making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone. What do you think of me? How am I doing? That's probably the least useful testimony I've ever heard in my entire life. Aren't we supposed to be the ones asking the questions here?
Witness?
Huh?
We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of this case.
Really? You'll hear me out!
Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later.
Thank you! I can't wait! Poor Gumshoe. I love that he just knew it would be Gumshoe.
Now that that's settled, shall we begin once again with the testimony?
Of course we can! I'll talk for as long as you want. The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head.
That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to be believed, I have enough to pass judgment right now.
Of course you can. There's no way that this account can be criticized.
However, the witness is a bit, how do I say, off kilter. Almost like he has some sort of atmosphere of guilt surrounding him.
That must be because of my insincere smile.
Mr. Wright, please begin the defense's cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, you gotta find some kind of contradiction in his testimony.
I know that.
Mr. Wright.
Your Honor. I'm afraid that... Sorry, it showed him and I was gonna do his voice.
I'm afraid that if you push this witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you are not going to engage in pointless saber-rattling.
I understand, Your Honor. If you cause this clown to stray from the facts, I'll hold you responsible. Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with the corny jokes. I don't know, you said one yesterday that was pretty wretched. So I think how this one works is I'm only allowed to press on certain things. But I don't remember what those things are. So I'm gonna try... Okay. You went back to your... Okay, so I'm gonna say this one I don't. Okay. Let's start with the first one. You say that practice wrapped up around 10 p.m., correct? See, that's the thing. Huh? How exactly am I supposed to make a joke about 10 o'clock p.m.? Now 8 o'clock. That's something a clown can riff off of. Let's just pretend it was 8 o'clock. Now I can make a great joke. Let's not. Let's not make it 8 p.m., alright, Mo? What do you mean, let's not? Don't take the clown out of clowning around.
Come on, Nick, just listen to his joke.
There are 3 reasons why I don't want to. 1, I probably won't laugh. 2, I'll get hit with the penalty. 3, I'll get whipped. Will the witness just proceed with his factual testimony?
You are so boring.
Okay, you were tired. What made you glance out the window? You just happened to glance out of the window? You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeballed.
Mr. Curls!
Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either. What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue. I think we should, because there ought to be a real reason. Exactly why did you look out of your window that night?
Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out of the windows, do they?
That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday.
Once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You forgot.
Your Honor, the witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? Ow, ow, ow. That's not just something you just forget to mention.
Yeah, what she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony.
Very well. Mr. Curls, please revise your testimony.
This should start turning the tables. This should start turning the tables in our favor. What was the sound like?
Well, I guess it was kind of like, sounded like, I guess you could say, Mr. Curls, may the court remind you that humor is unnecessary. Oh, how'd you know I was going to make a joke? I guess that the sound sounded like I suppose it sounded like someone getting hit with something very hard. Yep, that's what it sounded like, honestly.
Someone getting hit?
Oh, someone getting hit, huh?
What then? You went to look out the window and you saw the two silhouettes. Okay, this feels like it's also worth... Far away, you say? If you had to say exactly, how far away were they?
Let me think about that for a second. If my room is here, and they looked about yay big, I would say they were about 30 feet from my window.
Just 30 feet. That's not far at all.
It was snowing that night, and it cut down on visibility. I see. Please continue with your testimony regarding the two shadows you saw.
You'd say you clearly saw this, even though you were, by your own admission, far away?
That's right. I had been thinking about it. I had been thinking about it over and over since that night. But things didn't really make sense until I spoke with the prosecutor, Ms. Von Karma. But now I'm 100% certain that it was Max and the Ringmaster that I saw that night. Just think about it. How could I be wrong if Max is always wearing his uppity symbols?
Uppity symbols?
Lawyers nowadays, do you even have to go to school anymore to be one? Alright, everyone knows what to do. All together now. Say it with my Uncle Mo.
No one wants to say it with him. That's so sad.
See what I mean? It's always like this. The crowd never wants to go along with me. I must really be utterly and completely worthless as a clown.
Yowza! Enough foolishness. Get back on track.
Will the witness please testify as to what he saw, and only what he saw?
Kept watching them and then he got clonked. Okay. You say that you saw the Ringmaster get clonked over the head?
Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story.
He really does enjoy the completely random non sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with?
You mean the weapon? I have no idea. A weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right?
That's not what I meant. You did say you did see everything, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no I didn't. I didn't see a weapon.
Mo, did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night?
Objection!
I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You had better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor, poor clown. Because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. Jesus, Fran, okay. Ooh. Isn't this a bit melodramatic? So what will it be then, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not see the crime? Alright, let's look at the court record. Actually, do we have a map? On the map, on the map, on the map. Okay. Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not see the crime? I've got a great reason to make my claim. And I suppose you will be telling us all that great reason? Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony.
What is the meaning of that, Mr. Wright?
Without the comma, that read, what is the meaning of that, Mr. Wright? As opposed to this Mr. Wright, I guess. Mo said that he heard a sound of, like a thump of someone getting hit.
He did say that.
However, Mo just stated the following under oath. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed when he says he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there's no way that he could have seen Max clonk anyone. In 1972, a crack clown was sent to a prison.
Mr. Curls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment?
He didn't commit. These clowns promptly escaped from a maximum security clown car.
Mr. Curls, are you reciting the C-Team theme to anger this court?
No. I'm just stalling for time while I jog my memory.
Great job, Nick!
These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the clown makeup to find the truth. Well,
You're back from your jog.
Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much. When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement. Von Karma. Tampering with witnesses again. I don't know if she tampered, though, because he genuinely didn't remember, and then she's like, well, we would assume that this happened. But then he didn't remember the thump, and so he didn't tell her that, and so it ended up that she, like, made him lie, I guess.
So now you are saying that you did not see the defendant clunk the ringmaster?
Yes. When I looked out my window, the ringmaster had already checked out.
Checked out?
Yep. He was on permanent vacation, as they say.
Mr. Girls!
Your Honor.
You did not witness the actual crime. However, you still say you saw the criminal, correct?
Yes, exactly. The ringmaster was slumped over and I saw someone's silhouette next to him.
Very well, then please testify to the silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. And if I even catch a hint of a joke from you, I will put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it?
Got it. So does this mean I don't get penalized, or will I still get penalized? It was a bit far away, but that shadow could have only belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying.
It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime.
It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever, it should finally be good enough, yes.
It is decisive testimony.
Was Max really at the scene of the crime that night?
He said he wasn't there. We have to believe in that.
All right, Mr. Wright, commence your cross-examination.
Don't you think that you're going a little overboard with how explicit you're being? That shadow belonged to Max is an awfully firm statement, don't you think? What are you getting at? I'm just saying that one of your fellow performers' life is on the line here. Are you truly 100% absolutely certain that it was Max? I'm not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious as this. The silhouette I saw was Max. I'm convinced of that. It doesn't seem like he's jumping to any conclusions this time. Let's go over this again then. What makes you so sure that you saw Max that night? Trilo said the same thing. But if it was just the symbol, sorry, I had a really hard time with that. If it was just the symbols, then even I could have been wearing them. What if someone had just taken Max's symbols and worn them? I thought of that myself. But just looking at the shape of the face I saw, it must have been Max.
You're sure of that?
Such a silly little boy. He threw his entire case headlong into a trap. You're sure that that's what you saw that night? Exactly what I said I saw is exactly what I saw. I've got eyes like a hawk. Don't birds have terrible night vision? But that's not all I saw. I don't know about that. I think some birds have decent night vision. Depends. Birds of prey. You were able to see that kind of detail from your window? There was a light near the scene of the crime. Anyone with decent eyesight should have been able to see that much. Out of curiosity, Mo, what is your eyesight like? I can see like a hawk out of my left eye, and an eagle out of my right eye. How records say his eyesight is the perfect 20/20. That must mean he could have seen the crime scene clearly.
The more we look into this matter, the more suspicious it becomes.
Hey, you asked me what my eyesight was like, not what it actually was. I really do like this pose, the little finger waggle. So you didn't actually see what the criminal was holding? That's correct. I could have been curious. I'd been curious to know what caused that loud noise. It must have been something incredibly hard. Too bad they haven't found the murder weapon to know for sure.
They claim it was a blunt object. At least it says so in the autopsy report.
With Trilo's testimony and now Mo's, it really seems like Max is the killer.
Nick, you've got to find a contradiction in this.
That's not going to be enough.
What?
I have to prove that Mo saw someone other than Max that night. That's the only thing that'll help. I've got to do it. Doesn't he have 3 symbols? Didn't you make me recite it like 3 times? You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols? I suppose so. The silk hat and the cloak, right? Mo, everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols?
Yay! Everyone get ready. All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses.
What the? Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo? Do you like pie? I love pie. 3.15 tons of... Silence, fool. You are to respond with the whole truth, no fractions.
Order! Order!
Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there weren't any roses on the person I saw. The crime scene was dark. It's obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail. But the witness said that he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them. It was snowing. Then the roses must have fallen off when the defendant assaulted the victim. If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene.
Mr. Wright! Mr. Wright! Are these white roses truly material to the facts of this case?
Clearly not. He's just toying with this court. I got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it isn't me. Girl, it's not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trilo's testimony? There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup? Trilo saw them all. Trilo saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims there were no white roses on the person he saw. There's absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction.
Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointless, but this...
Judge, forget the roses. Think about his other testimony. Witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap up this case now. Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case.
Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that, unlike wine, the witness has not grown more mature with age.
I'm not mature.
I have come to a conclusion. I'm 99% certain that this witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable, which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony.
What?
If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I am prepared to issue a ruling.
A ruling?
Nick, this is your last chance.
There's no doubt in my mind. There were no white roses that night. However, all of the other symbols were there. I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I could forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
Mr. Wright, you've got one last chance at this.
Just one chance.
I will not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. If you're going to prove me there's a contradiction with Mr. Carl's statement, you'd better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations.
I've only got a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. Yeah, there's so many typos in this case. Wow, I've seen like at least 4 this time. Understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I'll need. I think I know which one. So I think because we found it at the scene, it has to be this. This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat that you saw that night, would it? Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing that night. No question in your mind? Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that? I see.
Is there some sort of problem, Mr. Wright?
Ms. Von Karma, where exactly was the silk hat found? Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime scene? That means... The silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. No, that's not true!
Order, 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 Mr. Curls!
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the meaning of all this? You're old enough to know better than to behave like this in court.
Hey, that's just not right. That's so harsh.
What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, amongst other things.
Oh, why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess. You didn't like my jokes or something, right? You didn't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Seriously, why? Just because you're sitting above me doesn't mean you belong there. And no matter how old I get, I'll always be younger than you. I feel like that sometimes too.
Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls. Who do you think you are?
I saw him. I swear I saw him. It was Max. Even if he didn't have his roses, he was still wearing his dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth.
He's turning into a bratty little kid.
It's pitiful, isn't it? He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat. He was there. He left the scene?
What's the matter, Nick?
There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo? What do you want? You just said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene of the crime? What? He went... What do you mean, how did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that. Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor. Nuh-uh. The fuck do you mean, nuh-uh? This witness's testimony is so full of holes, Ms. Von Karma's protest is useless.
You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that all right with you, little guy?
Don't talk to me like I'm a little baby. Besides, what kind of stupid question is, how did he leave the crime scene? The answer's obvious. He just turned around and walked away. That's what I expected you'd say. You sure that's how it happened? Say what?
Huh? I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things.
I think that's just what they do for a job.
Do you have any proof to counter a story as to how the criminal left the scene?
Yeah, there's only the one set of footprints. Yay. Look at this picture. The problem is the footprints in the snow.
Footprints?
In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there. Ay, 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 ay. So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor, this witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of this witness's testimony from the court record.
I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in.
Wait just a second. You guys can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, I'll tell you the truth this time. You wait a second. I think you've said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyways. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear.
I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are gonna get worse before they get better.
Mr. Lawrence Curls.
Yes.
The testimony you've provided up until now has been false.
It hasn't been false. I haven't lied. It's just
what?
It's just I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her whip told me not to talk about what I really saw.
Order! Order! I will have order! Franziska Von Karma, how could you?
Yeah. Your Honor, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you would have exactly the same opinion as I have.
What opinion is that?
It's not funny.
That's enough out of you. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth about what you saw, Mr. Curls.
Ha! You're not going to believe this, but it's all true, I tell you. Try not to waste our time with your idiotic drivel. Oh my god, I forgot how many testimonies this guy has. My poor throat. Now it's time for our next segment, Mo Knows. Everything that I've said up until now has been the truth. When I looked out of the window, the ringmaster was down and Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing the silk hat. That's when I saw he... Lord. This is the truth now, get ready for it. He flew! He jumped up and flew through the air! He flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. That's why there were no footprints. Flying people don't leave footprints. I told you it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now? Mo's voice and the judge's voice all at once. They've been rough.
Well, that was, how do you put this into words?
Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician. but to leave the scene of a crime by flying. There's no way that actually happened.
You're right.
Why is she right? You believe the other witnesses. Why would you believe me? Especially since it's the best part of the story.
To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright?
This is all a dream, right? It's obvious that the witness's eyes are playing tricks on him. Don't be such a fool. Who in the world do you think I would mistake that jerk for? Jeez, I didn't say you were lying.
Wow, he looks really serious right now. More serious than he's looked all day.
I suppose I will let you all in on my thinking regarding this matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that. But it sounds like bullshit. I just can't wrap my head around how that could actually happen.
You imbecile.
If you disregard a need for proof, Ms. Von Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It's an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind this mystery of mysteries. I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned.
At least Pearl wasn't here, because Pearl's is also a lot on my voice. Hey, sweeties. Oh, what in the world is going on? That's what I want to know.
They say the criminal flew off into the air and disappeared. Max?
Oh, Max, I can't believe I'm asking this, but you didn't fly that night, did you? I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can fly whenever I please. It's not that easy.
But it looks so effortless for you on stage.
It's not that simple. I'm not actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires and have them hoist me through the air.
How? You just told me the secret to your magic.
No, I broke the first rule. The cardinal rule. The only rule. I'm sorry, Max. We made you break a magician's creed to never reveal the secret to their tricks.
Nick, what do we do now?
All we can do now is hope we find the flying criminal in court tomorrow.
Great idea. Let's do our best to catch this sucker.
Oh my god. Mo's voice killing me out here. Switching between him and the judge was the worst. It wasn't as bad if I had like lines with Phoenix and Mo, or like Fran and Mo, but the rest of it, woof. Wow, that went by so fast. Wowza. Well, anyway, we're stopping there regardless because my throat is fucked. Yeah. So Saturday night. I don't think there will be a stream this Saturday night because I haven't done the thumbnail. I haven't worked on any art for it yet at all. Oops. But Tuesday we'll continue with this case. So I think next week we'll finish this case. And then in 2 weeks! Bark, 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 bark. I go crazy. I'm going crazy. Anyway. Yeah. So. Yeah, next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. my time, same place. We'll continue with Justice for All. Turnabout Big Top. I think the worst part is over. In my opinion, at least. Anyway, you know the drill. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Be good to yourself. Be kind. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Especially if you're doing silly voices. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you when I see you. Kiss, kiss, fall in love. Aye.